Hey guys, so I got a pretty good response from the first vlog I did, so I decided to keep doing them. In this vlog, I'm going to first be going over FDJ in the Rockies, and then I'll be showing you guys how I do my landing pattern. As you might have known, FDJ in the Rockies was this past weekend, May 29th and 30th. It was the first contest that we had the whole US team together for a practice. The first day was very challenging conditions. We had 25-mile-per-hour winds with very medium lift. So we had to pop a thermal, fly it perfectly, and take it way downwind with very little return on altitude. These challenging conditions really challenged the US team and really showed what we needed to improve upon and gave us some good information for the Overall, the contest went very well for the team. The juniors had a tough day due to not having the proper ballast for the high wind conditions. So they did not make the fly-offs, but the second day they flew amazingly. And they're definitely going to be strong and ready for the Worlds. The entire senior team made the fly-offs after brutal conditions and learning a lot from the prelims. The fly-offs were very exciting. On the first flight, I had the read and went for a short tow, but unfortunately I came in a little bit early on landing, about 2 seconds, but still hit the landing. On the second flight, again I had the read, so I went for about the same short tow and got out again, and actually nailed the landing this time. And on the third flight, I had an even stronger read. So right as Mike threw the plane, I zoomed immediately, got out, and actually came in a little bit early, so I overflew the spot unfortunately and hit a 98. I also hit a 1458.24, although 959 was actually possible during that. The last round was the most interesting round of the fly-offs. The wind had really picked up, and I didn't have any sort of read before launching. So I did a full tow with a ballasted model. I decided to brake right to get off the field in hopes that I'd hook up with some air off the edge of the field. But about 2 minutes into the flight, another group of people hooked up with some light air at the center of the field. So I had to make the run and try and hook up with their air. By the time I got there, I had about 200 feet of altitude left. So I wasn't able to get the climb rate like the higher people, and I was in a battle with Skip Miller and Mark Howard, who were at about the same altitude as me. We were climbing slowly but drifting downwind fast, and we finally had to leave the thermal to go find some more air. Skip made the choice to come directly back upwind towards the landing area, whereas I made the choice to go 45 to the wind and try and get off the field in hopes to hook another thermal. I made the run 45 to the wind and hooked up with some light air at the edge of the field. But I was only able to get about 100 feet of climb before I again had to leave the thermal and search for some more air. I hooked about 2 more thermals doing the same thing with very little altitude when I was again downwind, and my caller said to me, "I don't know where you are, but there's some birds hooking up off the edge of the field." I had very little altitude left and had to make the run again off the edge of the field. I was either going to hook up when I made the land out. I was hitting big sink and having to push hard. I was losing altitude by the second and getting lower and lower. Finally, at about 50 feet off the ground, I hooked the big air, and it was a rowdy thermal, but I was getting out quick. Finally, above launch height, I was able to take a breath and continue circling until I got specced out. I knew I had won the contest and edged everybody out if I could just make a good landing on that flight. So I came in a little bit early for a conservative landing and made sure I hit a good landing. The final results were me in first, Blaine Chastain in second, Daryl Perkins in third, Richard Branowski in fourth, Rick Shelby in fifth, Skip Miller in sixth, and Mark Howard in seventh. The team did very well for the first contest, really working together as a team. We had a few calling mistakes that we worked out and are even stronger now. And the team knows what they need to practice. Me, for example, I knew that my landings weren't what I wanted going into the contest, and that showed throughout the contest. But I know I can improve my landings and get those up to snuff before the Worlds. If you want to take a look at the full results, check out rmsadenver.com. and keep watching to check out my landing pad.